What's up, guys? Look, this is going to be a little different today, okay? Let me give you a little background information. People have been asking me, am I going to review any of these Titan Returns figures? And I've been telling them probably not, because they just don't interest me, which is true. Now, what happened was, someone who I know, Philip from Nerd Rage, he assists us with Nerd Rage, so shout out to Philip, helped us by bringing by Titans Returns Rewind. If something is that accessible to me, of course I'm going to review it. The problem is that after I shot this review and I started editing it, I realized that I'm not being 100% fair. And the reason why I figure out there towards the end is that I just don't like it conceptually, and we'll talk about that. But instead of a skit today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about my psyche in regards to reviewing this toy. We're gonna do the introduction and the articulation and stuff now. And what I really don't like about it, just as a spoiler, is the proportions, and I don't like the forearms to the hands. That's the part I really don't like. And then there's hollowness issues and other stuff. Heel spurs should have been had, but that's one of my big issues.
And so he comes with one weapon, which is this. It doesn't plug into the back to give him that classic feel, which would have been nice. He does hold it just fine. It also would have been nice if they gave him two, but they didn't. This is... I'm not sure... I feel like they should have used whatever they did. I don't know. Like, we'll see it as we go through. But you see the my mother's soul here, the hollow bits, and then the not hollow bits. Like this, like none of this looks right? But this looks better than this, and I'm not sure why they just didn't continue that through. And then also, you know, proportionately, it's a little bizarre, but. I don't know. I suppose it's fine. The head sculpt is pretty good. Has the little camera on there. I like it. I don't think that this color gray is the right choice, but that's my own personal opinion. The red paint is on there, but it's sloppy and it doesn't cover the whole face. If you look down at the bottom of the chin, it doesn't cover there, and then there's, I don't know if you can see it or not. It's thin in certain places and stuff. And I'm nitpicking, but I'm just pointing it out. And then the eyes are painted well, actually. So there's that. And then we have the symbol and stuff on the chest. That all looks good. And we have all the red line work around the sides. It gets a little out of lines there. But it isn't the worst. It's okay. So head is on a swivel. And the shoulders are on a hinge here, and then a ball peg at the shoulder, which really just gets you the swivel and a hinge. You don't really get much additional hinge out of the ball peg. Bicep swivel works just fine. Same on the other side. And then you have an elbow that gets you just about 90 degrees. I say let's give them to the toy. Give it to them. What do you say? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just shy of 90 degrees, but I say let's just give them a pass. Be easy. Be easy on them. These wheels here, that looks good. I like the sculpt generally from... I just don't like the arms. Like, I like that. I think that looks pretty good. I think the arms look a little weird. T-joint and ball joints for hips. Getting you the full Monty there. Forward up to there. Back to there. And so that's good. And then you have a ball... Excuse me. A ball peg. I'm allergic to Hasbro. The ball peg for the knee. And that gets you the full range. And you get an extra swivel if you would want it. I'm not sure that you would. We got a sticker on the back, which I don't care for, and then a little, I guess you could say a little toe hinge. I'm not sure.
And now we'll get into the transformation. I had the camera a little high, so you won't be able to see all of it. It's fine. Don't worry about it. A child could figure out this transformation. So if you're watching this for instructional tips on how to transform your Titans Return Rewind, you probably might want to look somewhere else. It isn't shot the best. Maybe I didn't put forth my best effort. That's also quite possible. But it transforms fine. It's just that this is where, towards the end, it's a kind of a triple changer. Towards the end of the third mode is where I realize it kind of clicks for me why this doesn't do it for me.
So let's transform him. This is a Legends class figure, I should notice. You can take his gun out. The feet go down like that. And then they spin around like this and collapse back on themselves, and then that shuts down. Now, this is actually a triple changer that goes in there. So, I guess if you pull the shoulders up, rotate these, and then push this down, this will tab into there. Do the same for the other side. I keep going out of frame, I'm sorry. I got the camera a little too high for where I usually work. There. So you take this, and you take his weapon, and it will go right around there. You got two little pegs there, and it'll lock in there. And then you actually get like a little up and down motion. No side to side, obviously, but it does roll on 3 wheels. And it rolls fine. But yeah, it's okay. It's a box on top of another box with a gun sticking out of it. So there's that. Or you can take this out and open these up, spin these around to the side, and then collapse this on the side. And you have just the single box as opposed to the box on top of the box. And you can take his weapon and you can plug that in here, and I think that that is actually pretty cool storage. But I don't know exactly. I mean I get it, but it's cool. It's cool-ish. I don't know, man. The truth is I don't think it's. I don't like it. You know, there's nothing necessarily wrong with it if you like it conceptually. That's what it is. I don't like it conceptually. So if you like it conceptually, it's kind of fine. But I don't. So it doesn't really work for me. But there's nothing necessarily wrong with it. Does that make sense? I don't know. I mean, I put this out.
The thing about my final thoughts is I always try to be objective. I try to be objective at first and just say, look, like, these sorts of things are wrong. Like the fact that there's so much hollowness, or the fact that he does kind of have a hard time standing, that he's, you know, like, that's an objective thing. That's not based on my opinion. That is objective. That is 100% just the way it is. But then I always try to back it up with a little bit of subjectivity, because I think every reviewer should bring a little bit of their own personal preference into their reviews so that the viewers can find a reviewer that they relate to, that they kind of see things the same way, and then they can kind of, you know, back them a little bit more. And the problem with my subjectiveness here, and even my objectiveness, because I have a hard time being 100% objective, but the problem with my subjectivity here is that I'm reviewing something that has absolutely no interest to me. You know, like, it's hard to not just thrash it. This has been an interesting experience for me. So just keep that in mind as you watch these final thoughts. And I'll be back with you guys soon. And I will review if other Titan War stuff happens to come across my desk, I'll review it. And I'll try to be as fair as I can. But it doesn't move me. Man, it doesn't move me. And I love some of the things that Hasbro's doing right now. I love the Black Series. I'm absolutely adoring the Legends. But this isn't... I don't get this.
Final thoughts wise, there's no heel spur, right? There's no heel on him whatsoever. So the hollowness in the back of his legs makes it very difficult for him to stand unless you put him in some sort of action pose. And then somehow it gets a little easier. So, I mean, that's a bummer. You know, I don't like that. I guess you could maybe use the gun if you posed him right, like kind of as a third leg, so to speak, which would definitely help. But, yeah, you know, it's fine. I mean, the articulation is fine. I don't like the hollow bits here. I don't like how hollow it is in the back. I don't care for the sticker. I think the gray is the wrong color. But I think that the sculpt of the head, chest, and thighs looks really good, so to speak. I think the sculpt of the shoulders looks great as well. I think the articulation, for the most part, is pretty good, with the exception of an ankle rocker, which to me is paramount, and a waist swivel, which also would have been nice. It also looks like there was an ab crunch that was ready to go right here, but just isn't. If that whole piece hinged there and that whole piece swiveled, I would give it a great pass in articulation. I don't like the sculpt of the arms. I get why they did it, but it's just, you know... There's just too much corners being cut in the Hasbro Transformer line, which is why I'm not reviewing them, because I don't have much nice to say about them. So it just doesn't make sense for me to just slam something over and over again for the same sort of issues repeatedly. I will say one thing that I do like is that because of the ball joints are in the knees and there's some wiggle room in them, you can get some attitude at them if you pull on the sides of the ball joints to straighten the legs. See, and actually that does help him stand a bit too. But for the most part, I've been having trouble getting him to stand. And I don't think that he is all that good. I mean, I think he's fine. I think he's probably worth his $10 or whatever it is. So if you like him, he's worth his money. Does that make sense? Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.